Guys, welcome. This is Benson. I'm here with a friend of mine, a brother from another mother, if I may say so. But I'm glad to be here with my brother, and I would like to give a time to introduce himself, and then we delve into some details of our life as young people who are born again. Karibu sana.
Thank you. My name is JK Owero, if you'd like. JK is much more common and easier to pronounce, and I'm a visual and theater creative.
Yes, I'm glad to meet you, JK. It's been a pleasure, and JK, there's so much to talk about, man. And but I trust the Lord that He give us some substance. Now, tell me something, JK. You are a young man who is out there, and you're in ministry, right? I'd like to know what drives you, JK, because young people out there are driven by several things, several passions, and so much out there. But what drives you?
Well, what drives me is everything that does not drive everybody else, because
Nice.
everything that drives them
Yes.
drove me at some point,
Oh, okay.
and I got to a level which I thought was it for me.
Mhm, mhm,
There's a point in my life where I thought this is it. If I get here, I'll
mhm.
have achieved everything in my life.
Right.
And I remember that day
Mhm.
very clearly in my mind because that was my turning point. I got to
Right.
that point, and on my way back home, I asked one question: Is this it? Is this
Mhm.
everything that I came for? Is
Mhm.
this all that I could achieve?
Mhm. Mhm.
And at that point, I gave up
Right.
trying,
Mm.
and I said, you called me,
Mm.
and I didn't hear the first
Right.
time. I thought I could do it on my own, so I
Right.
said, now you can take charge. Now let me see what you have to offer.
Mm.
And so what he did is he took me down,
Right.
deleted everything first.
Wow.
So
Wow.
dropped me down to zero again.
Wow. That's
He
deep,
didn't
man.
pick me, most
Whoa.
people think that he'll pick you with whatever
Mhm.
you've achieved and then try to
Yes.
build from that. No.
Yes.
He goes back to scratch. He
Wow.
demolishes the whole building
Wow.
down. So
Wow.
took me down to zero,
Wow.
started building me up.
Mm.
For his glory,
Right.
but to the despise of men.
Right.
They looked at me as somebody who had given up,
Wow.
somebody who did not have anything to offer anymore.
Mhm.
He was no longer creative. They said that he cannot write anymore.
Mhm.
He does not act anymore. He's not such a good musician anymore. He's just done. He's
Wow.
done.
Mm.
But for his glory, because at that point I was used to them,
Mhm.
and I was done with them talking anyway. So
Mhm.
I might as well just stick to the voice that I'm listening to at that point. So what drives me is simply everything that does not drive everybody else,
Right.
and that is my love
Mhm.
and allegiance. That is the highest thing. My
Right.
allegiance to God.
Right.
I am alleged to God.
Wow.
I'm that is it's like a soldier and his commander.
Right.
He's my commander, and
You sold
with
out,
the
man.
understanding with the understanding that
Mm.
he knew every tiny bit of me before he even created me,
Yes.
causes me to even decide to just go lay at his feet and tell
Mhm.
him, do with me whatever you want.
Wow, that's deep, man.
That's what
That's
drives
deep.
me.
Now, the young men out there, JK, who are some are born again, and it's like they're not feeling the savor of life. They need that second wind. See, you're saying that God brought you to the down low at zero, and then began with you. There's some of us who fear getting down low at point zero because we want to maintain certain aspects of what we were before. What advice would you give such young people?
The beautiful thing about being down to zero is that you
Mm.
have nothing else to lose.
Wow. Wow.
You've lost even your own dignity and pride at that moment. You have nothing else to lose.
Mm.
And at that moment is when you truly and
Mhm.
honestly
Mhm.
devote yourself to God.
Right.
Because you are not standing before Him with anything to present to Him as a sacrifice,
Mhm.
as an offering,
Mhm.
as something that He has done for you.
Mhm.
At that moment, He has broken down you down to zero.
Right.
And all you can offer Him is
Mhm.
what He says,
Mhm.
you be a living sacrifice.
Right.
At that moment, you can only offer yourself as a living
Mhm.
sacrifice. So being broken down to zero is not such a bad thing.
Right.
It's actually a needful thing
Mhm.
if you really want to know the true heart of worship.
Right.
Is when you go before God without any claiming anything from Him.
Right. Sure.
You literally want to devote yourself to Him. Right? So my advice is simply honor your God.
Mm.
Honor your God
Mhm.
with every little bit of yourself.
Right.
Honor your God.
Mhm.
Nothing else.
Right.
Because Yeah, man, we are into so many things.
Now, talking about being into so many things, JK, there are people or young people who imagine that being born again makes you a perfect human being. Well, when you come to Christ, and depending how Christianity was sold to you, some of us were told that when you get to Christ, everything will be perfect. Life will be very perfect. There'll be no flaws. There'll be no disappointments. There'll be no hard times. Is that the case, JK?
No,
Mhm.
it's the total opposite.
Right.
The world we live in
Mhm.
is overshadowed by the works of the enemy.
Yes, yes,
So
sure.
if you want a perfect life
Mhm.
that is without sorrow,
Mhm.
without pain,
Mhm.
stay without being born again.
That's hard, man.
I'll be honest.
You're
I'll
being
be
real.
honest. Because
Yes.
once you get born again,
Mhm.
the world
Mhm.
does not want you.
Mhm.
It spits you out.
Yes.
So every day you live by the hope that Christ tells us,
Mhm.
fix your eyes on Jesus.
Yes.
The hope of glory,
Mhm.
what is to come.
Mhm.
Every time I sit down and I think, well, I feel like the next few years
Mhm.
are gonna be maybe tough or hard
Yes. Yes.
because I'm getting into mission or I'm
Mhm.
getting into ministry with young
Mhm.
people or I'm
Mhm.
getting into ministry with different communities and
Mhm.
countries.
Mhm.
But at the end of it all, I fix my eyes in the end product.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
a brother of mine
That's deep.
shared with me,
Yes.
and together with we were together in a room. We were just talking about
Mhm.
our greatest fears,
Mhm.
and he said that his greatest fear is missing heaven.
Wow.
And we later on, when we went back home, I told him, we were joking, and I told him, you know, you set the bar so high. If
Yes.
somebody was to be asked after that, what's your greatest fear? You don't even see fit to say your greatest fear is darkness. It's like you fear the dark while there's somebody who is fearing to miss heaven. You see. So
Nice,
if you
nice.
really want a life that is flawless,
Yes.
stay in the world. Why? Because the world will accept you.
Mm.
Everything will work according to how you'd like it.
Mm.
It's a miserable life, yes.
Mm.
It is a depressing life, yes.
Yes.
But it is beautiful in the eyes of the deceived. It is
Mm.
beautiful in the eyes that are covered.
Oh.
All you see is this.
Oh.
So
yes.
when you look around, you see
Mhm.
your hands, and your hands
Mm.
are so beautiful.
Mhm.
That's all you can look at.
Mhm.
When you look beyond that, you
Mhm.
see the ugliness that is beyond that.
Mhm.
And sometimes I understand why Paul said, you know, if I was to be asked, I'd leave right now,
Mhm.
but for your sakes, I'll stay.
Wow. Man.
So if that is the cause that we're called to, that
Mm.
when we become born again, we lose our lives to
Yes,
Christ. We
yes.
are dead, and
Mhm.
we resurrect in Him
Mhm.
and with Him
Mhm.
when He comes back.
Mhm.
Then there's nothing really to fear. We are
Yes.
dead men walking anyway.
Woo! You can't kill a dead man. You can't kill a dead man. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice, JK. Come on. That's nice. You can't kill a dead man. I'm already dead, man.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, JK. And you've mentioned something very important. I think we are about done. But JK is saying that your eyes should be fixed on Jesus. You should be focused on Jesus. That should be your all in all. Thank you so much. May God bless you, JK. I'm so glad to have you here. I hope we'll do this again sometime later.
Haina shida.
God bless you, man. Thank you.
Peace.